The earth shimmered beneath a sky streaked with the gold of a setting sun, casting a warm glow over the planet. Unbeknownst to its inhabitants, a mysterious visitor was approaching, Princess Scylla of the Andromeda Galaxy. A being of unimaginable wealth and power was making her grand descent. Her spaceship, a vessel that outshone the brightest star, pierced through the Earth's atmosphere with ease. It landed with a resounding thud, sending tremors through the very core of the planet, shaking the ground. Xyla emerged, her eyes, twin pools of molten gold, scanned the unfamiliar landscape with curiosity. She was adorned in garments woven from the fabric of nebulae, each thread pulsating with cosmic energy and light. Jewels, mined from the hearts of dying stars, adorned her slender fingers and delicate neck, sparkling brilliantly. A small, amused smile played upon her lips, hinting at her intentions. Earth, with its primitive technology and naive inhabitants, would be an easy conquest for her. Her arrival sent ripples of fear and awe across the globe, shaking the very foundations of society. News channels buzzed with speculation. Governments scrambled for answers. But Xyla remained unfazed and calm. She had come to Earth with a singular purpose, to expand her empire, and the Earth, with its vast resources and easily manipulated populace, was ripe for the taking. This tiny blue planet, she mused, would be a glittering jewel in her already overflowing treasury of conquests. Xyla wasted no time in asserting her dominance. From the moment she arrived, it was clear that she was not just another visitor from the stars. Her presence was commanding, her aura exuding an air of supreme authority that left no room for doubt. She was here to rule, and she made sure everyone knew it. She chose Paris, the City of Lights, as her base of operations. The city, known for its romance and grandeur, was now to be the epicenter of her reign. The choice was strategic, a statement to the world that she valued beauty and culture, but also that she could take the most iconic places and make them her own. With a snap of her fingers, she erected a palace of shimmering crystal in the heart of the city, its spire dwarfing the Eiffel Tower. This was no ordinary structure. It was a marvel of alien engineering, a testament to her advanced technology and limitless resources. The palace glowed with an ethereal light, casting a mesmerizing glow over the city. The world watched, a mixture of fear and fascination in their eyes, as she effortlessly bent the city to her will. People gathered in the streets, their faces illuminated by the glow of the crystal palace. Some were in awe of the beauty and grandeur, while others were terrified of the power she wielded. It was a spectacle unlike any other, a moment that would be etched in history. Her wealth was as boundless as the cosmos themselves. She had access to resources that were beyond human comprehension, treasures from distant galaxies that sparkled with an otherworldly brilliance. Her riches were not just material, they were a symbol of her vast influence and reach across the universe. She possessed the power to manipulate matter, to conjure objects of unimaginable beauty and value with a mere thought. This ability was not just a display of wealth, but a demonstration of her control over the very fabric of reality. She could create and destroy with equal ease, her powers seemingly limitless. Diamonds larger than a man's fist, their facets reflecting 1,000 galaxies, were scattered like pebbles around her palace. These were not just ordinary diamonds. They were infused with cosmic energy, each one a unique masterpiece. They glittered in the light, a constant reminder of her unparalleled wealth. Rare flowers, their petals shimmering with iridescent light, bloomed in her wake. These plants were unlike anything found on Earth, their beauty otherworldly and captivating. They thrived in the presence of her energy, their colors shifting and changing in a mesmerizing dance. Each bloom was a testament to her ability to bring life and beauty wherever she went. The people of Earth, dazzled by her display of wealth and power, flocked to her, eager to offer their services to this celestial empress. They came from all walks of life, drawn by the promise of prosperity and the allure of her otherworldly charm. They hoped to gain favor, to be part of the new order she was establishing. Politicians and world leaders, their voices trembling with a mixture of fear and avarice, lined up to pledge their allegiance. They saw in her an opportunity to gain power and influence, but also a threat that could not be ignored. Their loyalty was a fragile thing, driven by self-interest and the desire to survive in this new world order. Artists and musicians, their creativity ignited by her otherworldly presence, vied for her attention, hoping for a glimpse of inspiration. They saw in her a muse, a source of endless creativity and wonder. Their works began to reflect the alien beauty she brought with her, a fusion of human and extraterrestrial artistry. Zyla, accustomed to such adulation, accepted their tributes with regal grace. She moved among them with an air of serene authority, her every gesture a display of her supreme confidence. The gifts they brought were tokens of their devotion, offerings to a being they saw as both a ruler and a deity. She had them dancing on the strings of her power, their fates resting on her every whim. They moved to her tune, their lives intertwined with her desires. In her presence they found both fear and hope, a delicate balance that kept them in her thrall. Zyla's reign had begun, and the world would never be the same. Amidst the opulent chaos that had become Paris, a city of lights and dreams where every street corner whispered tales of romance and revolution, lived a young artist named Jean-Luc. He was not famous, nor was he wealthy. His name was not known in the grand salons or the bustling cafes where artists and intellectuals gathered. Yet in his small corner of the world he found solace and purpose. He was a solitary soul, more comfortable in the company of his paints and canvases than amongst the throngs of people. His days were spent in quiet contemplation, his nights in fervent creation, each stroke of his brush a testament to his inner world. His small apartment, nestled in the shadow of the Sacré-Cœur, was his sanctuary, a haven from the clamour of the outside world. The view from his window with the majestic basilica standing guard provided him with endless inspiration. Jean-Luc had watched Zyla's arrival with a mixture of apprehension and fascination. The alien spacecraft had descended upon Paris like a scene from a science fiction novel, its sleek, otherworldly design a stark contrast to the historic beauty of the city. He was both repelled and strangely drawn to her. The arrival of Zyla, an alien of immense power and beauty, had stirred something deep within him. It was as if her presence had awakened a dormant part of his soul, a part that yearned for something beyond the ordinary. Her blatant display of wealth and power left him cold, yet he couldn't deny the strange allure of her otherworldly beauty. She moved with a grace that seemed almost unnatural, her every gesture exuding an air of superiority and mystery. He saw a story in her eyes, a depth that belied her cold demeanour. Those eyes, golden and piercing, seemed to hold secrets of the universe, secrets that Jean-Luc longed to uncover. They spoke of distant worlds and untold adventures, of joys and sorrows that transcended human understanding. One day, while sketching in the Tuileries garden, he found himself face to face with Zyla. The garden, usually a place of tranquility and reflection, seemed to pulse with an electric energy as she approached. She stood before him, an ethereal vision in shimmering robes, her golden eyes regarding him with cool curiosity. Her presence was both intimidating and mesmerizing, a living paradox that Jean-Luc found impossible to ignore. Around them, the world seemed to fall silent, the cacophony of the city fading into insignificance. It was as if time itself had paused, allowing this moment to stretch into eternity. Jean-Luc felt a strange tremor run through him, a mixture of awe and an emotion he couldn't quite place. It was a feeling that transcended mere attraction, something deeper and more profound. He had a sudden, overwhelming urge to capture her essence, the enigmatic glint in her eyes, the haughty tilt of her chin on his canvas. This was not just about creating a portrait, it was about immortalizing a moment, a feeling, a connection that defied explanation. In that instant, Jean-Luc knew that his art would never be the same again. "You are bold," Zyla's voice, like the tinkling of celestial chimes, broke the silence. It was a sound that seemed to resonate with the very fabric of the universe, a melody that could both soothe and command. Her gaze swept over him, taking in his paint-splattered clothes, his worn-out easel, and the intensity of his gaze. She could see the passion in his eyes, a fire that burned with the desire to create, to capture the essence of the world around him. To look upon me so, with such audacity, was something she had not encountered in a long time. Jean-Luc swallowed, his throat suddenly dry. He had not expected to be confronted by such a powerful presence, and yet he felt compelled to stand his ground. I am an artist," he stammered, his voice barely a whisper. His heart pounded in his chest, but he knew he had to speak his truth. I see beauty in everything, even in the unexpected. His eyes roamed the room, taking in the details that others might overlook, the hidden stories waiting to be told. A flicker of amusement crossed Zyla's face. It was a rare expression for her, one that hinted at a deeper understanding, a connection that transcended words. "And what is it that you see in me, artist?" she asked, her voice a silken purr. There was a challenge in her tone, a test of his perception and courage. "Do you see the power that radiates from me?" Her presence was overwhelming, a force that could not be ignored. "The fear that I inspire in the hearts of men, I see sadness," he replied, his voice steady. He could see the weight of her responsibilities, the burden of her power. Jean-Luc surprised himself with his own boldness. He had never spoken so candidly to someone of her stature before. He met her gaze, his own unwavering. There was a connection between them, a shared understanding that went beyond words. A loneliness that even your vast wealth and power cannot mask. He could see the isolation in her eyes, the longing for something more. For a moment, Zyla simply stared at him, her golden eyes narrowed. She was not used to being seen so clearly, so deeply. Then, to Jean-Luc's surprise, a laugh, light and melodic, escaped her lips. Sadness? Loneliness? She repeated his words as if tasting them for the first time. "You presume to know much about me, little artist." Her voice was confident, but there was a hint of curiosity, a desire to understand his perspective. Perhaps, Jean-Luc conceded, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. "But I believe that everyone, even an alien princess, has a story to tell. But I believe that everyone, even an alien princess, has a story to tell, a story that lies beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered. A story that lies beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered. And I want to be the one to uncover it, to bring it to life through my art."